This video is going to highlight 3 really cool things that you can do using Copilot in Power Automate. This is a QR code that's just going to take you to Microsoft documentation if you want to learn more about any of these things. But what I want to talk today is how you can 1. Create a flow from scratch using natural language, 2. Edit and improve an existing flow, and finally 3. Learn how your flow works. So let's dive into our first use case. I'm going to hit play on this and we're going to play this animation here. So this is using natural language. So in this example, I'm asking when someone sends me an email mentioning me, send a Teams meeting. It's showing me a snippet of what a suggested flow might look like. I can make changes if I want. I like this one, so I'm going to go ahead and create it. So now you can see it's created the trigger, it's configured the trigger, it works really well, and then it's got some actions here. I can take a look at this, I can use it as is, I can trust and verify that everything is correct here. But you can see I was able to simply type in what I'm looking for from a business side and generate this pretty spectacular flow. Now, I'm not suggesting that you can do this for the entirety of your flow. More than likely, there are going to be some conditionals that you want to implement using the control connector, or there are some variables you need to initialize, or anything you're going to need to do that's a little bit more advanced than this, but this is an excellent starting point, especially if you're new to Flow and Power Automate. This is a great way to dip your toe in and get started and start to learn what kind of things you can do using Power Automate and Copilot. So the second thing I want to show you is edit and improve an existing flow with Copilot. So I'm going to press play on the animation. Now I've done this a couple times recently. Sometimes it opens in the old canvas, which I believe is what we're going to see on this one, and sometimes it opens in the new canvas. So I'm sure eventually it's always going to open in the new design experience, but sometimes you'll get that classic. So let's press play. We're going to click the button that says Edit with Copilot, and then that's going to open our canvas, and I can start to use the Copilot panel on the right-hand side of my screen to make edits. So for this, I'm asking it to add an action that sends a push notification in my Power App. And then Copilot's running, and it's starting to generate that action. And it's going to show me once it's done here, here's what I just added. I updated this action, the send an email, and I added this action, send a push notification feed too. Now I can click in here and then I can start to configure different things, because you can see I got an error message that says invalid parameters. So while Copilot added the action to my flow canvas, it did need some additional configuration that didn't finish. So that's why I have this caution here. And it says always check everything the Copilot generates. With everything with Copilot, trust that it's got your best interest at heart, but verify everything. Verify that it actually does what you intended. And this did open in the new flow. Apologies for leading you astray with thinking it would be classic. All right, finally, learn about how your flow works with Copilot. I find this really handy if you have to do something or you've inherited a flow in whatever manner and it looks really complicated. Maybe there's a lot of different branches, a lot of different layers, a lot of switch actions, whatever you need to know. Instead of going through and diving into each individual action, opening it up, expanding it, checking out the parameters, seeing what it's done, you can actually use Copilot to just explain what your flow does. So let's check out what this looks like. Again, it's on that Copilot panel, and I'm just saying, please describe what this trigger is doing. And it generates a really great summary, which I have here on the left, and it's telling me exactly what the trigger did. So I give this a thumbs up. Remember, it's important to train your model. It's going to improve the quality of your interactions with Copilot. So that got a big thumbs up. It told me exactly. Then I wrote explain the actions, and you can see that prompt isn't exactly what Copilot was expecting, and it's telling me what characters in a book do. So that is not what I was looking for. I gave that a thumbs down, and hopefully it'll help train the model. But the language you use is important. Obviously, prompts are very important. So if I say explain the actions in this automation, that might have had a better result. But again, we have our caution here. Always check everything Copilot generates from this. Just a good example here of how it didn't quite work how I wanted. But super powerful tool. I think the Power Automate Copilot experience is really cool. It's gotten so much better over the past year. I can't wait to see where it goes in the next year. And I hope this video was helpful in instructing you on 3 cool things that you can do with Power Automate Copilot.